Living the adventure. Axis of Awesome.
Incoming transmission.
What is up, adventurers? Welcome to the second episode of the 2026 Who's in the Shop. I have an absolutely awesome guest tonight, coming back for his third time. We'll get to him in a moment here, but let's go over a few housekeeping things like we always do. Tomorrow night, there's an awesome photo story dropping. My bro Adam from G.I. Joe. Oh boy, is it on there? Whoop, nope, that's not it. I thought I had it on there, but maybe not. Anyways, well, I had a picture. My buddy Adam from G.I. Joe Lost Chronicles is dropping his next photo story. It is called The Man of Action Mystery, Where Eagles Dare. And I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. There it is. There is his steal from the photo story. It's really good. I wanted to show you guys the title block, but it's pretty spicy. So I was worried that it would probably get this stream taken down almost instantly. But anyways, check that out tomorrow night. It's going to be super dope, and I can't wait to see it. Speaking of the Axis of Awesome, Tom from Spider Monkey Films has created this awesome badge for the Hunters of the Unknown series. If you would like to get one of these maybe and add it to your title block or your video or whatever you're going to make for the Hunters of the Unknown this fall, reach out to Tom at Spider Monkey. Maybe he'll send you a copy of this. I think it's great. I'm going to add it to mine, and I know the rest of the gang and the Axis of Awesome is going to as well. A couple announcements I made this week I wanted to share with you guys. I think that you're going to really enjoy. The first one is I have debuted the name of my Hunters of the Unknown story. It's going to be Hunters of the Unknown, The Creature of Pikes Peak. It's going to be super awesome. I had to pivot away from some of the things that I was going to do originally, but I think it's going to be even more epic now. So definitely be expecting this cool-ass photo story. I think it's going to be great. And then next, Adam and I are back to doing another collaboration, and this is going to be Operation Corpsewood. My title is the Ahnenerbe Axis. So I've actually started prepping and filming this right now. I think we're looking at dropping this around probably fall, winter of 2026, and I think it's going to be great. So definitely check all those out. Give everybody a follow. Look at Adam's video tomorrow night. I think it's going to be super cool. Obviously, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Hit that notification icon for new videos. Send me an email about anything cool, G.I. Joe related or not. Shogun Warriors, I don't really care. Just make sure it's not weird. And obviously, Hunters of the Unknown coming up. Guys, our guest tonight, like I mentioned, this is his third time on the live stream. Legendary 3D creator, all-around cool dude from the legendary awesome state of Texas, Nacogdoches. It's Mr. Jim Egner, the TK560. What's up, bro?
Hey, it's been a long time no see. How you been?
Hey, man, it's been great. It's been great. Been a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I think we're still in that renaissance of G.I. Joe 1/6. I mean, what do you think?
Well, you know, I try to always look at the glass as always full. Now, it might be half full of air, but it's always full. So you know, I can't help but think that, you know, maybe corporate America's abandoned us, but as the technology gets more and more in the hands of the people, and I'm talking about the software that you can create files with, scanner technology that's gotten better and better over the last 5 years. I mean, you can get software on your iPhone now that you can scan people's heads with and make custom action figures with. I mean, it's just amazing. And then with companies like Bamboo Labs making printers that's easy to use and high quality results. I mean, we're kind of at a nexus, I guess, of a lot of things happening all simultaneously. I think it's great. So,
I feel like our group, the 1/6 scale group, we've almost become like pirates. You know, like the old pirate radio guys, where we were all just on our our ham radios, communicating with each other, doing awesome stuff, while the world just moves on. We have our own little enclave of awesome, and I really see that. Like when you see we'll get to the comments here in a second, but I don't know if you followed Robert from Maxog's giant radio controlled monstrosity he's built. It is awesome to see.
That thing is enormous.
Enormous. It got to be 4 foot long. It's like the creativity with everybody right now, not just in like your stuff, your 3D printing stuff. We've got the photo stories. We've got Greg who has really, really cool projects he's got in the works. But I just think that right now, man, we are pirates. We are doing pirate shit, and I just absolutely love it.
I got a spot on the wall over here. I might hang a Jolly Roger there just to
have ChatGPT create you a pirate flag based on all the stuff that you make. But yeah, it's great, and I'm excited. I think moving forward, I think the sky's the limit for a lot of us. Like you said, with the creativity you can do now with all the tech at your fingertips, it's super fun. So what have been going on since the last time we talked, man?
Well, last time we talked, I got you in trouble and got you off of YouTube, so I got to be kind of cautious of what I talk about, I guess, today. No, I'm just joking.
Well, it's not what you talk about, it's what you show nowadays.
Show you anything? Yeah, I keep my secrets to myself, I guess. I don't know. What's funny? Probably what's happened since the last time we talked. I've upgraded printers. We talked a little bit of that before we got on the airs.
Right.
I've gotten a lot of requests to do custom stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, sure, I'll give it a shot. And so I normally, when I get on, I do some show and tell stuff, and I can give you little teasers.
Absolutely, we would love that. Yeah.
Now, this is not technically G.I. Joe,
okay,
but it's for G.I. Joe, and then you might recognize.
Oh wow! Now
this is a custom request. This is
wow.
It's not all there. Okay, I'm working on parts of it, so that's
okay.
So that was a deal, I think it was.
I'm
not sure. There was a inexpensive 1/6 scale 1970s Adventure Team G.I. Joe knockoff.
Yeah,
that a lot of people were quite fond of. It was this weird hybrid helicopter gyrocopter type of thing, and so anyway, I'm redoing it. So that's one of the things I'm working on. Getting a lot of requests for. You may not be able to make much out of this. This is an Irwin amphibious landing craft wheel.
Oh wow!
Apparently, there's a bunch of those that exist out in the wild that the wheels are missing. And so somebody sent me one of those to recreate. So I'm working on that. Greg's got me working on a whole stack of cool stuff that's just, it's going to take some time, dude. And the last 2025 was a tough year on the family. We lost 3 family members.
Oh no.
And so we're still kind of emotionally recovering from all of that.
I can imagine.
I lost my dad. My wife lost her dad and her sister. So
wow.
I mean, been a lot of, dealing with a lot of estates and that sort of thing the last year. So I kind of got out of doing a whole lot. I've had to have the shop kind of shut down for a little bit while I caught up on things. And so, in fact, as we're filming this, the shop's closed, but I should have it back open on the 1st of March. So
nice. Well, there you go. There's an announcement for everybody.
It's just that I'm backlogged. I hate for people to order something and it takes me way too long to try to get it out, just simply because my time is really chopped up. And so I'm still having fun. It's going to be at the Joe Show in Dallas. That's the tail end of May, I believe.
Awesome.
I got a booth there. Greg twisted my arm and made me go again. So I'll be there for that. And I hope to have a few new projects that I can showcase then as well. So just to give you a quick rundown, and I won't bore you, I'm doing some more Major Matt Mason stuff.
I really love all that stuff. That's really great.
So there's a backpack that goes with the space sled.
Wow.
On that. There were some unreleased space themed GI Joe items. The Space-O-Matic was one of them that Hasbro toyed around with and went so far as to create prototypes. And one of them is the View-O-Matic. Is that what it's called? It's a space
View-O-Matic. Wow.
Well, I may have the name wrong on that one. It's a 1/6 scale telescope. And
what?
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Some of the books that are out there have pictures of it.
What books have those? I'm curious.
I'll have to get with you after the show and tell you. I can't. It's over there somewhere in my stack of crap.
So was it like were these like concepts that were in like? Were they actually like solicitations for sales?
These were produced in 1969 and 1970 by the Hasbro design team.
Whoa.
They went so far as to mock them up. The Space-O-Matic was one of them. This is an actual telescope that functions. You look into it, and it's a low power thing, but it's on a console, and they even took the Tank Commander radio and the headphones or the field phone and the top of the field phone radio and kind of kit bashed all of that into the console for the telescope. And so
what the heck, dude? So wow.
That's in the works. That's the only thing really holding me up on that is trying to find affordable lenses that can make it actually work. And so I'm kind of on the hunt. As soon as I can find that, obviously you can't print those.
No.
But as soon as I can find, something appropriate that would make a functional kit, those should be pretty close to production as well.
I can't wait to see that. That's going to be great.
It's going to be cool. So as soon as I can find that book, I forget which one it's in. There was one of the books, and I wish I could remember which one it was.
So you just looked at the picture basically, and then that's freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's how I did the Space-O-Matic. I mean, we had that commercial, and I just still frames for that and reverse engineered it. So that's what I'm doing with this. View-O-Matic's not right, but it's something like that.
That is wild.
And there's other people that are doing recreations of the Apollo missions, lunar rovers. But Hasbro actually made one that was a little bit different, and so I've been playing around with that a little bit. So these are all kind of factoring into a sort of a space theme.
Wow.
Also, somebody commissioned me to do the Space 1999 Moonbase Alpha Command Center. And so I did parts for that, and that turned into, why don't I make a Adventure Team themed version of this as well? So that's in
my gosh, dude.
I'm looking at the list here. I got another one. It's a 75 millimeter pack howitzer. Hopefully, even saying that's not going to get us into trouble.
Probably not.
It's a small cannon. What's funny is we actually have this cannon at our local university as part of our ROTC program.
Oh, wow.
When the football team scores a touchdown, they'll fire it off at the games. So
yeah. Okay.
So they call it old cotton because it smells like cotton. Whatever.
When it goes off, yeah.
When it goes off, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's meant to be kind of scaled and intended to go along with the 5-star Jeeps. So I'm working on that. That's probably the oldest thing. Robert DeCastro's got me working on something called a Computronic floor model computer.
Robert's always got something going on.
He's always on me about some kind of 1970s computer console. So
yeah,
that's one of them I'm working on. I've talked to you a little bit in the past about some of the other projects, but a mono wheel vehicle. I don't know if you know what mono wheels are. You probably do, but there are these great big wheels that you basically ride inside of, and they were experimented on in the 30s. They came back in popularity in the 60s as
Right.
sort of this thing. I think even back in the 90s, they kind of came back around as this sort of novelty type of vehicle. And so anyway, I've taken the escape car parts and kind of reverse engineered that into a monowheel. So
Wow, man.
that one's real close to going prime time on me. The landing gear for the Irwin Panther jet, that's been something a lot of people have been asking for. And I I got one out to Stacy to evaluate. He needed the rear wing and a canopy and a bunch of other stuff for the Irwin jets. But I sent him a sample prototype of the front landing gear, and he had some suggestions, and he was right. They needed to be some things needed to be changed. And so I think I've got those worked out, and hopefully I'll have those up on the store when the store opens back up, excuse me, in March. See what else is going on. The cat track, the Major Matt Mason 1/6 scale cat track, that's in the works. Greg has the prototype. I wish I had these to show you.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sure we'll all be seeing them all. We'll be seeing them all soon, I'm sure, from Greg, because he'll do a video of it, and then we'll see it on your stuff probably as well.
He's this summer, back in August, we did do a kind of a sneak preview of that. I'm trying to think of what else do I have going on that I can talk about.
Did you guys ever get the screw things sorted out? The project that happened but didn't happen, and then I know I talked with Greg about it a little bit when we were on the together a while back, but is it still kind of in limbo?
We've got there's for your viewers, there's several projects that are in the works. One of them is at the tail end of the adventure team, there were some concept sketches that were drawn up by the original Hasbro design team.
Right on.
Yep. Of those sketches, there were a couple of vehicles that were kind of I guess you were in the prone position. You kind of laid down on them, kind of like the underwater sea sled idea. They're about that scale. They one of them used these corkscrew type of drive mechanism that the Russians used in deep snow and muddy terrain. It's actually a legitimate propulsion technology.
It's cool.
It's real cool. I really think that's pretty neat. I'd been working on it sort of in my own time as a kind of a fun what if. And then Greg approached me and said, hey, let's do some of these prototypes. And so we chose two of them. One of them we called the Turtle, and the other one we called the Camel. And the Camel is actually the name of what the illustrators in the 70s for Hasbro actually called their vehicle. The other one didn't have a name. And so they're in the 95 percentile range of being complete. There's a few technical issues with the clear parts that have to be out. The clear is a huge challenge. And
did you ever build a vac machine? Did you ever get that worked out?
I have a vacuum form machine. Okay. One of the things that y'all don't know about me is that before I did 1/6 scale, I did full scale Stormtrooper armor. For the 501st. And so, I'm familiar with vacuum forming and resin casting and all that kind of stuff. I'd show you some of the stuff I did in resin, but it would get you banned again. So,
no, well, we went through. We were going heavy on that last time because you showed us lightsabers. The minute you pulled out the old Blastomatic
blaster, that did us in right there.
And that's probably the only time a Stormtrooper blaster has ever did anybody in. So that's the joke.
Yep. So anyway, we vacuum form is not something that is a mystery to me. I've got years of experience with that. The problem is you got to be able to make these parts and they have to be robust enough to survive assembly and then look good. And there's some weird things that happen when you're vacuum forming. If your material's too thin, it flexes too much. If it's too thick, it's hard to remove from the mold. How much effort do you put into trimming it off because you got a lot of wasted material? There's a lot of moving parts, if you will, to recreating. It's easier to create something new than it is to recreate something like the Panther Jet canopy. I think Stacy Armstrong's been working on that as well. It's a challenge. There's some dimensions that are weird, especially for the Panther Jet because it's not vacuum formed originally. It was an injection molded part.
Wow.
So it's got these little prongs that go down into the fuselage,
Mm-hmm.
you can't vacuum form. And so unless you're getting into the process of gluing parts or changing the design up somehow to accommodate that, the Panther Jet canopy is a project in and of itself. What I'm trying to do with these parts that Greg and I are working on is they're more flat. And so they're a little easier to form. And since I'm not trying to recreate anything, I just need to be able to make sure it can snap into the windshield frames.
Right.
Example. And so there's a couple of, that's really right now my biggest challenge. That and trying to get the production time, the print time on these things, because they're so big, it's not measured in hours, it's measured in days.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we want to make sure that we've got it as streamlined and as finalized as possible, because just to make prototypes is days and days of printing. And so you do as much design work as you can to get it as close as you think it is going to be, as close as you think it needs to be. And then you print it and realize you had something way off. And so I've gone through about 3 prototypes now for each of the vehicles. So that's about 6 different prints.
Oh, man.
And I'm still not there. So I'm hoping to be there here pretty soon. So that's all kind of a collaborative with Greg. We've reached a licensing deal with the original artist.
That's cool.
Still possesses it. So it was a little bit different on that particular project, that there's a licensing component to it.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're having fun with it, but you know, it is a labor of love. And I think Greg's committing to doing some packaging for it. So it's going to be a very limited run and a very, very, it's not going to be an affordable one, I'm afraid.
Well, I mean, it's going to be, that's going to be like what I call like a boutique.
Yeah.
Collect, you know what I'm saying? Like you're going to, you know, it's going to be, if you want it, buy it, you know? And as a guy who unfortunately does that, with stuff, I mean, I'm there. I mean, if I see something and I think it's, you know, a good price, that I think, well, it's just a matter of what, you know, this, it's what you want to pay.
Yeah.
You know, I spend a lot of time, you probably know, if you watched enough of my videos and my live streams, I spend a lot of time on Japan auctions.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, you can find anything you want on there. And you can find stuff for great prices, and you can find stuff for insane prices. And some of that stuff's really rare. I saw a mint in box Action Man helicopter, the green one.
Yeah, the green one. Yeah,
it was $300.
Wow.
And I'm like, I thought about it. I'm like, man, do I want to be that stupid? I didn't do it, but
$300 for the mint in the box helicopter, and probably that much to ship it over, you know.
Yeah, who knows? With Japan, it's really weird, because I just had another order shipped this week, and it was about 120 to FedEx it. So there, and it was I forget what the weight was, but I got some cool stuff in that. I'll be doing a video soon, and you'll enjoy it. But before we keep going, let's jump in the chat. We got a pretty good group of dudes in here tonight, and some guys you're going to recognize, obviously. We got our good friend Stacy from SIG20. Definitely check out the Man Cave Volume 2. Those knuckleheads are doing a great job on there. They're pretty funny. Roberto Acevedo out there in Los Angeles, California, doing great. It's always good to have Roberto on. Another of the 3D printing mafia.
Oh, there he is. Yep.
The 3D printing mafia. Action Joe Figs, another amazing 3D printer. Cause. Awesome. Great to have him on there. Adam, Judge of the Lost Chronicles, on here tonight. Of course, Robert, Max Dog Adventures, who just dropped a really good video here in the last couple of days. Mudhorn Station joins us. Always nice to have him on here. We got some old regulars. Let's see. Anybody else? James Pavarelli's on here. James always joins us.
How you doing?
Scott Not Bob up there in Canada. Hope everything's going great up there. I'm sure the weather's still a little cold. And that is about everybody tonight so far. I'm sure we'll have some stragglers coming on a little later. I'm sure Murray Corrigan will get on there. And Andy from Indy always gets on there. Andy from Indy's doing some great head sculpts.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, that's just insane. I wish I could do organic stuff. I really, you know, it's a different tool. It's a different way of thinking when you're doing CAD style, mechanical, hard edged, industrial fabricated type of technology. It's different if you're trying to create creatures or trees trunks or foliage and all this other kind of stuff. One of the projects that I've struggled with is the red top box. Which one was it with the raft? Oh shoot,
the action pack.
The Mouth of Doom.
Oh yeah, the raft on the Mouth of Doom. Yeah.
And you look at it, it's just logs. It's just no. It has to be done the right way, and you got to have the right curves, and you got to have the little wood grain and all, and then all of that has to be done in a completely different computer modeling tool that I'm terrible at, and I can't get there. And the detail's too subtle. You can't really scan it. I've tried that. We have a makerspace. I've gone in, ran around with that, and it looks terrible scanned. And we're dealing with an archival scanner, something that's designed to scan artifacts that are dug up out of the ground. So you'd think the quality of the scanner would be good enough, but no, it still looks like garbage. So it's crazy, so that's a whole nother world. The scanning is something that I'm not any good at, and the biological organic is something I'm not any good at. So there's a lot of area for that for other folks to explore. That's just not for me. So.
I've thought about getting Blender because I like to. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows. I can draw really well, and I can sculpt fairly well. I mean, I sculpt a lot of my own creatures. I don't spend nearly enough time sculpting as what I'd love to, but I like all my Bigfoots, my mummies, I sculpt the heads. I'm sculpting a head right now, my 100 Known storyline, but I would like to toy around with Blender to try to do monster heads and print them out, and then maybe make more than one creature, because all the stuff I make is pretty much like one-offs.
One-offs, yeah. Your scratch building is what they used to call that.
And
you only get one.
So. You only get one, and I unfortunately I love everything I make, so I always keep it all, But the people that do the actual 3D sculpting is really fascinating. I watch a lot of people on Instagram, and I'm like, son of a bitch. I mean, that's just like another level,
It is a whole set of skills. My former life, I was a graphic designer, so painting and then I did some sculpture stuff as well. That's a different skill set. You try to do that with a mouse, or you try to do that with a tablet and a pen. Man, that is hard to do and get. Yeah. It's maybe when I retire. Right now, it's so time consuming to do just the most primitive things with that. I can't do this. So
you got so much going on, though. I mean, all the custom projects you do, and then all the stuff you're helping with Greg. Do you ever, you do so much stuff. You do recreations and you do original designs for everybody else, either Angelo or I know Robert both have hit you up for original designs. Do you ever take time for yourself? Like, I know you're a big vintage guy, and I know you still love the hobby and you're passionate about it. Do you ever just sit around and just for funsies kind of think about making cool original creations and stuff?
That's a great question, and I wish I had a really cool answer for you. But the reality is, I wish a lot. But if there was some way to record the thought processes in my head, it would. But there's so much going on. I've gotten, when I was a little kid, I had a Major Matt Mason. Thought it was super cool. I was big time into the space program stuff. Loved that kind of stuff. And so, but he was the wrong scale, and everything didn't fit G.I. Joe. And so I guess what's happening with me is I'm trying to think, well, what would fit into Project Moonbase type of scenario for G.I. Joe? And so that's why the space theme has come along. The Space-O-Matic was that for me. It was a vehicle that I thought was super cool that was never produced. That was done as a selfish project originally. And so instead of just making one scratch built Space-O-Matic, I did it in CAD and made 50 of them.
It's great.
So that was a whole lot of fun. I've got a couple of other projects. The pack howitzer is actually one that's kind of a selfish project as well. As soon as I can get that finished up to a point where they can fire, projectiles, I'm trying to get it to fire the rocket bazooka, the rockets from the bazooka. And as soon as I can get that worked out, that'll be one. I've got a couple of others that I kind of hesitate to talk much about because they're super secret.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But they're space themed.
Yeah.
I may have talked about the Orion project. That was a name that came up a long time ago, and it was an add-on for the Mercury capsule.
I think you did talk about that last time.
So that's another one.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, what drove me to do this, and the original reason for me getting into 3D printing and CAD work, was a need. I wanted something that I couldn't afford. I couldn't afford the tripod, the Tank Commander radio tripod legs. It was too expensive and too hard to find, and I was too cheap to buy one. So that's how, that necessity drove me to learn CAD and design and do it. And so I still do that for myself. I did a multi-antenna array for the MSV, just as sort of a joke. Instead of a single radar dish, it was a double stacked one. And I thought it turned out super cool. Nobody seems to like it, but I did. So
Did you put it on your store?
No.
Oh, okay.
I showed it around to a few folks, and they're like, so it didn't get the kind of reaction I thought. But, I think what happens is people have their own concepts. There's a lot of interest right now in the 1/12 scale stuff.
Yeah.
And I've really struggled with that because I get asked, it's almost weekly, hey, can you take whatever and scale it for 1/12 scale? I'm like, I suppose I could, but then you run into problems with details dropping off, or dropping below the printer's ability to reproduce it, so details go smooth or whatever. So it's not just printed at 50% scale. I mean, it doesn't work like that. Some things you can, some things you can't. The Mirage Jet that I'm working on, the modular Mirage 3 Jet, I think that's what its working title is. That's another one that I showed Greg wound up with it, but it's an alternate vehicle for the adventure team. It's loosely based off the French Mirage jet from the 60s. If you look on the Fantastic Freefall, the box art for the original red top box art, you see a jet it's flamed out, the engine's on fire, and it's crashing. That's loosely what it's based off of. It's kind of a mashup between several different real jets, and the Mirage is the closest. Mirage 3 is the closest one. So I'm working on that. I've already done the model work for it, but it's so big and there's no way to package it. They don't make a box big enough to ship it in without spending a huge fortune. So I'm going to have to take the model and then break it down so that the wings come off, and so you can pack it. And it's another one that needs vacuum-formed canopy. So I mean, there's 90% there. That last 10% is very challenging. So.
You know what I think it'd be cool to 3D print and design? One of the coolest vehicles from when I was a kid watching the Johnny Quest, reruns, because obviously it aired way before I was born. So I was born in 1974, but I watched all the reruns, and we still watch them now. It's on MeTV Tunes. The hover platform disc thing, that
somebody's doing those. Somebody's doing those in 1/6 scale. I saw,
really?
Yeah, I thought about doing them myself and realized, somebody else is doing that. So
yeah, I'll have to look that up. If you find out who's doing those, let me know, because I always wanted one of those, because I always thought that would be a cool adventure team vehicle, like on a safari or whatever. But I've been watching a lot of Johnny Quest cartoons because I watch them I think they're on Saturday afternoons, and if I'm not doing anything, I'll sit and watch them with my son. And it's just like there's such you can see the adventure team
in that
influenced by that, and so much. It's just anybody who denies that is crazy.
No, I look at Johnny Quest as a cousin to the Adventure Team. It's just,
Absolutely.
it's the themes were all there. And, Race Bannon was basically a gray-haired,
Adventure, yeah, man of action.
Man of action without
Yep.
the sport. Yeah, I mean, so that's a pretty easy solution to come up with there. And I've looked at that for a little bit of inspiration. I did I don't know if you remember Sergeant Soldier. He commissioned me to do a flat bottom dugout canoe, like that's on the beginning of the I think you put 6 Joes, 1/6 scale Joes in that thing. It was huge. It was, it was 3 feet long.
Oh my God, what?
So that one's floating around there too. That was a commission thing. So
yeah, it's just do you gain inspiration watching like any modern shows? Like when you see, like, I don't know, really know what's on. There's a lot of stuff on TV now, but I do. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Like everybody always asks me, like, where do you get the ideas for all your photo stories? I'm like, well, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I read a lot of stuff. I'm probably crazy.
Yeah.
And that's where I get all my inspiration for all my stuff. Like, and I always wonder where you like get inspiration, like, and then, Sean does his, unique stuff. You have people like Robert who creates his backdrops and everything. Like, where do you get your inspiration for all the cool stuff that you make?
Man, most of it comes from Robert. To be honest, he says, "Hey man, have you thought about doing a blah blah blah?" And next thing you know, oh no, I didn't thought about that. And so he gives me inspiration. Sean gives me ideas. Greg gives me ideas. I'm an old movie fan. I love the older the better. I'm on a Barbara Stanwyck kick right now, watching old comedies of hers from the 40s.
Wow.
We just finished The Thin Man, which William Powell and Myrna Loy. I'm old school, old movie fan.
Yeah.
So none of that really has a lot of inspiration, but we just watched King Kong, the original one, here just a couple of weeks ago. And there's an awful lot of Adventure Team wrapped up in that. If you really can look past the grainy black and white footage. It's a jungle adventure is what most of that movie is. And so think about it from they build a wooden raft. They go on, they've got equipment, the smoke bombs, and there's all kinds of stuff that happens in that. But really the imagination really, it's just an idea somebody comes up with. They send a picture. Greg sends me pictures of old military experimental aircraft. He just sent me one. It's this disc-shaped helicopter from the 50s, and it's sort of like, you want me to make that? Really? Okay, that's cool. Let's go. Kind of a deal. And some of it is Soviet era space program stuff that's just different enough from the NASA stuff to look really interesting. And some of it's, 1970s snowmobile inspired stuff. It's one of the other ones that I'm working on that I think Greg may have talked a little bit about once upon a time is we called them a wet bike back in the 70s. It was before the Sea-Doos and the jet skis came along.
Oh, yeah.
They were called wet bikes back then. And the first time I ever saw one was James Bond. I forget which one it was. It was I'm drawing a blank. It's the one where they had to go, the bad guy basically was underwater. And so he had a jet ski to it. I forget.
Was it Dr. No?
No, it was.
Was it Roger Moore?
It was a Roger Moore. It was
Octopussy?
No, it was before that.
For Your Eyes Only?
Maybe that was.
There was For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, and the space one.
Yeah, Moonraker.
Somebody in there, yes, Moonraker.
Somebody will remember the
somebody
one.
in here is a psychopath and knows it.
We need bad guy.
We need Dan DiBiase on here, his ADD will kick in, and he'll know all the women in it for sure.
Yeah.
There we go. The Spy Who Loved Me.
I knew. The Spy Who Loved Me. That's it.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. So there was an inspiration for the wet bike, And so I've done that. Greg's got the prototype on it. It's probably going to up for sale by now. So, just old movies, I guess, old TV shows. I watched a few episodes of The $6 Million Man over the Christmas break, and there's always these crazy, the Venus death probe. I don't know if y'all remember that episode or not.
Yep.
The arch nemesis. And you know what it was? It was a 6-wheel ATV with a dome over the top.
That's a rare toy too.
Yeah, nowadays it's yeah. So, it comes from all over. But I would say, for the most part, people suggesting something, or maybe I'm working on something that's not quite right, and somebody like Robert DeCastro comes along and says, "Hey, you ought to put lightning cut holes in the base legs or whatever." And so that's kind of where stuff comes from. It's not really organized.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think I might have been telling, I was telling Greg, and I probably told Sean this, but I probably told you this, but I'll tell you this again. Like when I see all the stuff like you make, because I'm always looking at your Etsy store when you're up, just seeing what new stuff you make. I love keeping track of what you have going on. And then obviously Sean, his YouTube channel right now, he's doing some amazing stuff with his Polly Pocket stuff, which is just, if you guys haven't checked out his Micro Universe stuff,
super cool,
absolutely unbelievable engineering behind that. Super passionate. Love watching that stuff. I think I told him he needs to make some type of Adventure Team mask based on that steampunk mask, that for that one. But I look at all you guys' stuff, and when I see your stuff, and I'm like, okay, when I'm commit to buying something, I'm always doing that with the intention of, I'm going to use this in a photo story.
Okay.
So like one of the things that I've really started to try to do, and if you watched my last photo story, The Mystery of the Ice Age, which I had a lot of fun doing, is now I'm starting to put you guys' names in it.
Uh-oh.
So almost like a commercial in a way, because I like, and that's what I really love, is like when I get you guys' stuff, I always got to figure out, okay, so if I'm buying this off of you in your store, I got to create a whole look that involves your stuff. So I got to make all new camouflage.
Oh, no.
I gotta get equipment, and I gotta outfit every guy. And I don't know if anybody notices that when they watch some of my photo stories. Is there's like this last one, my whole guy was outfitted in different stuff.
Oh,
and
I saw it. I guess I didn't notice. I mean, it just is there.
Yep.
If it was in your face, beating you across the forehead with it, you'd know.
I obsess.
Yeah. So that means you're doing it right. So.
Yeah, I obsess. About what I'm gonna do as far as making a look. And right now I'm really into camouflage. Okay. So what I've been doing is like, all these photo stories I have coming up, I grab you guys' stuff. I'm on Spoonflower every night, just looking through patterns.
Yeah.
And then reaching out.
Spoonflower is a custom fabric. And you can upload files and they'll print it out. So
absolutely. And I find all these designers from all over the world who have really weird design patterns. That's kind of where that's where this pattern came from,
Yep.
And I reach out and I'm like, can you scale us down to 1/6? They can. I'll buy some. And I've made all these. I just bought like 8 fat quarters last week because they had like a 40% off fat quarter sale. So I have all these. I got my 80-year-old mom sewing stuff this week for me because she's taking a break from quilting. She's like, what do you need sewn? So I brought her a bunch of stuff over. But I'm like you, I got a lot of stuff going on all the time for all these photo stories I have down the road. But I'm inspired by the stuff you guys make because it makes me have to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to go out and make stuff in order to like accentuate all the accessories you guys have. And it's super exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean it's that's what I said. We're all like kind of pirates now because we all are working together in a way, like, and it's super cool. And I don't think, even at the height of 20 years ago, like the last, when the classic collection was kind of going, you know, and stuff. I don't know if there's this degree of creativity then as there is now.
Oh, as far as for the
It
fan,
create, yeah, yeah, yeah,
type of thing,
yeah,
no, not at all. They were waiting for Hasbro to do everything,
yeah,
you know. And there were some creative folks out there,
for sure.
you know, that were kit bashing, and
Hmm.
I'm not good with names, but there were a few customizers back then that really would take
Yep.
great effort and massive amount of detail.
Artists, they're like
Just
artists almost.
oh my goodness, Romero was one of them that just did a fantastic job. Was it Augie Romero? Yeah,
Hmm.
that's who it was. And then there was the Dreams and Vision stuff. Man, that was, I don't know if you looked at the crew cut line.
Absolutely. Yep.
Those were absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
The Sergeant Rock sets, the Mademoiselle.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, those things were fantastic. And then completely, I missed it.
Enemy Ace, Enemy Ace,
Enemy
Black
Ace.
Hawk.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so you look at the Normandy invasion set or whatever
Yep.
it is for Sergeant Rock, the belts, the web belts had little rivets.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, somebody went to an awful lot of effort
Yep.
to make some fantastic stuff. So that, as far as a corporate produced
Right.
watermark, yes, that was when they were doing it. You had the 21st century stuff that was coming out that had high detail on it, and I guess you still have that in a lot of the boutique, really high end 1/6 scale things.
Yep.
That's out of my price range, and
Yep.
quite honestly, I don't look at them because I know I can't afford them. So I do my own thing.
Yeah, that's kind of point I was making. We've got so many guys nowadays that seems like we've taken everything, since there's nobody making anything. We're all kind of just making our stuff,
Yeah.
and like it's almost like swap meets, like, you know.
Oh yeah,
It's so cool.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
It's so fun now because it's like it's just everybody's cool, and everybody's just like, wow, that's cool. I'm gonna figure something out. I'm gonna make something cool, and you're like, oh my god. Like you look at Robert's, you know, dioramas that he kind of turns into his Viewmatic live action stuff is just super wild. And then, you know, we've got all of us who are kind of, you know, we toy with the photo apps now, and you have some people who are doing the AI stuff and going maybe a little overboard, but whatever. I get it. It's just people are going to do what they do. But just using all these new tools now, it is super fun. You know, it's expensive too.
Just staying up with the 3D printing technology can drive you crazy. The Bamboo just came out with a new printer that's, I think, does hot swappable nozzles, so you don't have any waste when you're printing and changing colors and material, and so you can print hard plastic and soft plastic at the same time, which is just
wow.
That opens up a whole new can of worms. You know, it's gonna, you know, and so yeah. I think for me, really, it's necessity drives what I'm doing. To be perfectly honest, I love recreating the stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
I enjoy the recreation probably more than I enjoy custom making something new. I mean, it's kind of weird. You'd think it'd be just the opposite, but there's a lot. Maybe it's a weird way of me practicing to try to be better, and I'm fooling myself by saying, well, if I can make it exact like the original, down to the little tiniest detail, then I'm a better designer when I move into making my own custom stuff.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I think that's what I'm doing, and I don't want to tell myself that's what I'm doing. Otherwise, I won't go the effort to put all the detail back into it. But it's very rewarding to get something and nail it so close that you can put it in with the vintage parts. And yeah, you can tell it's 3D printed, but it fits together, it snaps together, it's close to the same color. I don't know. To me, that's really a very rewarding part of this hobby that I wish other folks could enjoy that with me. I feel like Sean and Brad probably do, but and you're getting into 3D design as well. You're starting to kind of feel some of that. There's some reward, an artist reward for getting it right.
Yeah, when you recreate something and you get it to where you're like, I think I did it, and then yeah, it is a good feeling, and you're like, it all works out, and you're excited. But I don't like there's nobody to tell. Like I can't my wife, like she's like,
Yeah,
okay, I
for
don't know
what?
what you just made. My son has no clue what I just made, and I'm like, son of a, like when I made the Action Man hook and I got it to finally work, I'm like, son of a gun, I got this thing to work. I'm so excited. What do I do now?
Yeah.
And then I try to move on to other stuff, and it's super fun. It is fulfilling to design and model stuff and get it to print successfully. And I watch a lot of people's stuff. Like I watch a lot of videos of people, and it just blows me away the amount of talent out there with people. Like it is wild.
Yep.
Yeah,
I feel like an amateur compared to some of these folks. My wife's very supportive of what I do and appreciates what all, the effort that goes into it. But if you're not in the trenches, doing it, you still don't really understand it. And the reward for me is sharing it, saying, hey, if you like it, great. Help me keep going forward with it. Buy a part from me or whatever. And when somebody leaves you a feedback, 5-star review or whatever, because they loved it, you just are like, well, that's the reward right there.
Yeah.
Somebody else got it. They understood it, and a lot of people think, oh, he must be scanning this stuff. No,
you're modeling it.
Modeling.
Yeah.
I've got a pair of micrometers and you're measuring the parts,
yeah. You told me that, I think it was probably the first time we were on together, you told me like how many models you had.
Yeah, I'm up to, let me look here real quick. It's embarrassing.
I don't think it's embarrassing. It's awesome.
1,332.
Oh my God. 1,332.
Yeah. And I got about 300 of them in the shop.
You got that backed up?
Yeah. I've got way more than I can ever get around to printing, to be honest. And and I keep thinking, well, I'll just add a few more to the shop. Well, it's more time, more orders coming in, which I'm thrilled about. Sales have been very good. I can't complain about that. It's a time thing. I mean,
yeah.
There's only so much of me to go around. I work a 40+ hour week job, and the 3D printing stuff is another 40 hours a week. And
yeah.
You just kind of get,
yeah, you get, yeah, I know. I got burnt out last year on my YouTube channel, and I got burnt out doing stuff, and I got to watch that because I rarely ever get burnt out doing anything because I usually really, really regulate my time well. But last year, I think I was just trying to do way too much.
I think it's an ADHD trait, dude. I think we all have a tendency to try to go, and we don't know how to slow down. I know I don't. I'm constantly on the run. So
yeah.
I think it's important to have that vision and drive. I think you have to learn to pace yourself, and that's a lesson that I have a real hard time with.
Yeah, Sean had to too. I remember Sean he's taking a little break as well.
Yeah.
I
think you just have to. I mean, there's just life. There's other things going on that needs attention.
Yeah.
Back to it. So
yeah, I'm with you. I'm there too. Like there's days I'm like really motivated to do stuff, and then there's days I really don't want to do anything at all. Just it is weird like that. Let me ask you this. So I always like to ask people this, that you've seen behind the curtain a little bit. So you've seen a lot of the guys at Hasbro. Like we've all kind of seen those guys and those sets that they made or they did concepts for. Do you think there's anything still out there floating around concept wise that none of us know about that could still be there that would be like mind blowing? Or do you think we've found it all?
I don't know if there's anything official Hasbro G.I. Joe specific. I've heard the rumors, and I'm going to just say this as I heard a rumor.
Yeah.
So we're like somebody knew somebody who told me this.
Mm-hmm.
This has been around a long time, that some of the vehicles that wound up in the Real American Hero were originally supposed to be 1/6 scale.
Yeah, for sure.
G.I. Joe. And if you look at some of those first iteration vehicles like the Vamp,
Hmm.
and there was another kind of armored personnel carrier looking thing. I don't know what it's called. If you look at those two vehicles a little bit, you realize, well, the origins of the Vamp go back to the Lamborghini four-wheel drive vehicle that
Absolutely.
was a prototype for the what became the Humvee, and then
Yep.
when well, that's all in the 70s. That's not 80s era stuff. That's
Right.
70s era stuff. So
Right.
clearly that vehicle was an adventure team era type of vehicle. The armored personnel carrier, which I can't remember the name for, has one of the concept front ends on it from the mobile support vehicle.
Absolutely. Yep.
So it's sort of like, well, yeah, that's clearly a mobile support vehicle that was scaled down and armored up. And so, are there anything official left? I don't know, but I feel very confident that some of the early Real American Hero stuff was Adventure Team, and it was just militarized a little bit.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? It's too bad, like, a lot of the guys that did the Adventure Team designs are probably old, really old, and not with us anymore.
I suspect
Um,
very many of them are left. Yeah.
yeah, what I thought was interesting is like some of the guys who did the original designs of the Real American Hero figure line.
Hmm.
They've actually started a toy company where they're making, I think it's called Operation Recall. So they've got brand new designs of little O-ring figures, and they're really neat. They're very much so inspired by that Real American Hero vibe. It's just I think it's kind of a bittersweet thing that with all the technology we have now as far as 3D printing, that those guys, we didn't have that when those guys probably were still wanting to
back in their day. Yeah.
right, still wanting to design even after Hasbro discontinued the Adventure Team like these guys are doing now. And we could have had those guys continue some of the concepts that they would have had. And they could have worked with people like you and Sean and Brad and Greg and come up with brand new, cool, not even like vehicles, but like, action packs, gear, all that stuff. And that's because that group of guys that came up with the Adventure Team stuff, I think is they were such an amazing group of guys. And, they were just doing their jobs, and it's too bad, and this is one of the things I think is interesting. This will probably be a little controversial for some people. This is one of the things I find interesting about the AI stuff. If you had a really unique AI program and you could say, hey, and you could plug in all the drawings, concept drawings and everything from the Adventure Team and say, hey, I'd like to have an Adventure Team themed, sketch me up something. And then they give you a sketch of something, and then you could take that and then you could do your own modifications and then create something. I think that would be neat. I know some people probably would say I don't like that. But if you wanted to kind of preserve some of the original ideas those guys had, that would be a way to do it. I know some people would be like, I hate that. But
well, I think you look at some of the stuff that Huckster Labs has done, that Sean's done. That's exactly what he did. I'm speaking for him out of turn. I don't know this for a fact, but I can imagine him going, well, what if Hasbro had done, or what if the Adventure Team had lingered on for a few more years?
Right.
They have done.
Right.
And I'm going to do that. And then, set your course on what that thing that was going to be done. Greg and I have sat around and talked a little bit about, the what ifs, wouldn't it be cool if, and so some of the stuff that he and I are working on, that's kind of how we got there. Was this is something Hasbro should have done and never did.
Yeah, I love that.
And I think it's I think there's some legs to that.
Yeah.
I think that, one of the things this whole Mirage Jet project that I'm working on was an attempt by me to say, it sure would have been cool if the Adventure Team had a modern jet, not just a float plane, the Adventure Pursuit craft, and not an old Panther jet from the 50s. Let's have some Delta Wing, modernish looking, jet that he could fly around in. Or it could be the bad guy, whoever the bad guys might be. My idea on the Panther jet was you changed out the nose caps or the wingtips and the ordnance, and you had multiple different stickers, and you could be, you know, different countries or whatever, and whoever the bad guy happened to be at the time. So I think that's kind of, you know, a way that Hasbro might have thought about this as well.
Well, I think that's cool that you guys, like you mentioned that, like all you guys have your own, like you would think you have your own unique design vibe. Like Sean has his, you have yours, and it's cool because you can look at your stuff and you can know, in my opinion, I don't know about everybody else out there, I know, well, that's a TK560. That is a Huckster Labs deal, and that's the coolest thing because there's a uniqueness to it. And when you have those things, like when you're watching one of my photo stories and you see those, I mean, I want people to look at that and say, oh, that's a, you know, that's Jim's radio carrier on my jungle guy or whatever. That's Sean's underwater propulsion device and stuff. And I think, or that's Sean's, you know, trank bazooka. And that's kind of what I really want to do with a lot of my stuff moving forward, is to kind of really give you guys, write you guys like a love letter in a way, right? Because you guys are really important to all of us out here in our hobbies, because without the stuff that you're doing and Sean's doing and Brad, like the recreations, the original stuff, the mod stuff, we're all, in my opinion, we're all just kind of chasing our tails in a lot of ways, you know, like we're just reusing old Adventure Team stuff, maybe kit bashing, but now you have a whole new world of awesome with all you guys' stuff, and it inspires all of us and our imaginations. And I know I speak for a lot of the guys out there in the chat, and a lot of the guys are going to watch this, but it inspires all of us to get out and do stuff. I mean, how many times have we used Sean's wrist communicator in all of our photo stories? I mean,
it's just as ubiquitous as any original Adventure Team stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's super cool. I mean, how often does an artist have a chance to, you know, be involved in something like that? That's
right. And I mean, your computer console that Robert and you worked with together, you know, I've seen that in several of his already. Like, you just know that's yours when you see it. I mean, I'm gonna build a GI Joe base next year. I'm gonna build a brand new Super Joe headquarters.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get some of your computer parts because I've got it all sketched out what I want to do. It's not on my queue right now. I got a bunch of other shit in my queue, unfortunately.
Hey, man, that's how it is. You got too much stuff backed up, man.
It is, man. It's just, it's mind numbing. But I don't know, man. As we wrap this up, we've been going an hour, and this has been great. And I really appreciate you coming on.
Anytime. I'm quite flattered that you ask.
I mean, this is going to have to be an every year thing. My plan was to have you always start the beginning of the year and let me know what was going on. But unfortunately, you had, I don't know if anybody knows this. So Jim was going to be my first guest a few weeks ago, but you got the week you guys got hit with the bad weather.
Yep.
Yeah. The day you texted me and said, "Hey, bud, you know, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it because we got some power issues." That day, I had went outside that morning. So it was like -8 in the morning, right? So I was going to work. I go to work at like 6. Pitch blackout. I had shoveled our walks the day before, and I felt great. I worked out, shoveled our walks. I went outside, and there's this pile of snow next to my driveway out in the street, and I thought, you know what, my wife's gonna run over that with our car. So I'm gonna go knock that down because I don't think the city is going to knock that down with their snowplow. So I go out there, I do 2 shovels, and I pinch a nerve in my hip.
Oh no. Oh no.
And I went, I'm like, oh my God, I just, oh, this is terrible, you know? So and it's like -8. But my truck's running. I'm like, I can barely get, you know, I'm hurting. So you texted me and I'm like, thank God. I didn't know if I was going to be able to sit down here and sit and do that. That live stream. So it kind of worked out in a way, but moving forward, that you're my plan to always be the first live stream of the year.
Sounds like a plan.
But so moving forward, what do you got going on? Let us know what all you can. You told us a lot of stuff tonight, but just let everybody know what you got going on.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on a whole bunch of custom projects, a lot of commission stuff. I've got some requests that have kind of backed up on me, and I hope to have the shop open up March 1st again, so I can get caught up. I'll have some Irwin Panther jet parts. There'll be the tail wing. I think there'll be the front landing gear. There's some major Matt Mason 1/6 scale projects that are coming, the cat track and the bat pack, and a couple of other there's some Space 1999 Moonbase Alpha inspired control room type items that we're working on. The Mirage jet, that one's still in the works. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's always a bazillion things falling behind it. So
Wow, man. And
I've got some of these weird ideal type, you know, gyrocopter looking, I don't know what you call it, but it's a, you know, fun toy to reproduce. So
did you just look at pictures and then just basically scale them up to figure that out, or did you have an actual working model for those ideal things?
I actually have one.
Oh, you have one? Oh, cool.
Somebody sent me one, and they wanted the pontoons and the pontoon outrigger arms and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, okay, you know. So, but that's fun. You know, I enjoy doing that, so it's fun reproducing these parts. So, you know.
Wow. Well, Jim, I had a great time.
Me too.
This is great. Hang around in the back because I want to shoot the crap with you about a couple things. But this has been awesome. You're welcome to come back anytime. I will definitely bring you back, and we can talk about some of your secret projects whenever you get them to the point where they're not so secret. And I'm sure that'll blow everybody away. So before we go, tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Jeff, for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's quite an honor. You can find my stuff at TK560.etsy.com. There
we go, guys. It's been great having you on, Jim. It's been super fun. I hope everything continues to go well down there in Nacogdoches, Texas.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your 2026, brother, and I appreciate you being on.
Thank you.
All right, man. Guys, this has been awesome. This is a really fun live stream. We got to cover a lot of really cool things, and we'll definitely have Jim back on when he is able to talk about some of these really cool projects, which I think just the space stuff alone, I think is probably going to blow everybody away. And I don't know, he didn't let me know about any of that stuff, this is all brand new stuff. But I think just from the expressions and his excitement, I think his space stuff is going to be pretty dope. So I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Again, like, subscribe to the page, hit that notification icon. Our next guest in a couple weeks is Mr. Ernie Hop from Ernie's Attic. He is one of the members of the Man Cave Volume 2. And I think that'll be a really fun live stream. So, yeah, I think it's been great. Reach out to me if anybody would like to come on to Who's in the Shop that hasn't been on yet. I've got a lot of guests I'm working on trying to get on. I think we're going to have a really good year doing it. And I think it's already been a pretty awesome Who's in the Shop in 2026. So, guys, I hope you had a great evening. Hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay positive. And in the meantime, keep living the adventure, and cheers.